Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, there you go. Boom. Now you're in. Oh, damn. You in fucking 9K over here.
It's
Holy shit.
it's my camera I got, which I love this thing. But
Which
I'm
one?
always shooting vertical in the gym because it's always Instagram stuff.
Oh, which camera is that? A7?
It's a Sony A7 IV.
Oh, it's the 4 to it. I got the A7 III, but I don't think I can connect that for Zoom.
Yeah, the 4 started the live streaming. What's up, Carlos?
So
Yo,
Carlos,
what's up, boss?
How's it
so
going, man?
Carlos,
Oh man, everything's good, dog. Everything's good. I'm trying to get on y'all level. Y'all talking about 4K cameras. I ain't got none of that, bro.
Yo,
Yeah,
look
I-
at Jordan's shit, right? Look at Jordan's camera. What the fuck?
That shit
Fucking
crispy.
That's why I bought it, man. But usually I get on the podcast and I run out of time and I don't even have a
you don't
chance to
even
set
use
it up.
it. That's funny.
That's the problem. I'm
It's
eating
good,
too, Carlos. I planned on getting this meal. Every time I do this podcast, I plan on getting this meal like an hour before, and it never happens.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
when
go hit the gym right after this, so let me get this in.
Gotcha.
See, when I do other people's podcasts, I always got a meal. But when I do mine, I think it would be weird.
bro.
You know, it makes it weird. Like, imagine I'm like, "Oh, how you doing, Carlos?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it don't flow the same. But but if you're not hosting, you can kind of just like get a couple bites in and shit like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? How you feeling,
You're a
Carlos?
good host, bro.
I'm good.
You're a
I
good
do this
host.
on work meetings too, man. Like Zoom calls. I'm like, I don't show my food, but I have it down here. I'm like this.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Jordan said I'm a good host. I think people like me because I'm the opposite of a good host. You know what I'm saying? Because I do it so differently. Like I'm not really trying to host. I'm just hanging out with my boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, anti-host. The opposite of a
Exactly.
host.
Sometimes people like that. Like with YouTube, I'm the opposite of a YouTuber. I don't give a fuck, bro.
But your videos,
cat.
I love your videos. He's like, you're just so blunt. All right, let's take this shit back to the crib. It's just like,
I don't, because it's like I don't know how to pretend for the camera. What's good, Matt?
What's up?
What's up, man?
What's up, Carlos? Again, good to see you.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
What's up?
I'm so bad. When I first tried YouTube, I was trying to do it in a way that I felt it's supposed to be done. Like, okay, let me try to be professional, or let me, make sure I say hi and all. And I'm like, I just feel weird, bro. That's just not my personality. So I just turn the camera on and I just do whatever, I just be myself, and then I think people always prefer that. You know what I'm saying?
People like the organic content. Like they don't like you to put on a show.
No. So now I see like younger kids trying to film videos exactly like Sam Sulek. But Sam didn't blow up because he tried to be somebody else. He blew up because he didn't give a fuck. He's just like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I don't need no fancy edits. I'm gonna just talk. So it's more so people like you because you're you, right? It's like Matt, right? So like Matt, I think the first interview I watched might have been the Nick or possibly like either Nick or before that, right? And it's like you don't want hosts to be the same. Like so, like I don't want Matt to sound like a different host. Like what makes Matt stand out is he's Matt. You know what I'm saying? He's himself, and he was very blunt and straightforward. And he didn't tell people what they wanted to hear. He said how he felt, regardless of what guests are on the show. And I respect that, right? When
I had Nick Walker on, I was riding Nick Walker on his waist, and I said, man, your waist is a bit of an issue. You got a wide waist. And for a whole year, I was kind of putting that content out there about Nick Walker's waist. And, I invited him on the show. He's like, yeah, sure, man, I'll come on your show. Mm-hmm. He didn't care that I was riding his waist and putting that out there. And he came on the show, and I still even said, hey, man, I've been riding your waist. And he's like, that's okay, man. I know I got a wide waist. I know that's just genetics. It's what it is. He wasn't afraid to talk about it, and I wasn't afraid to have him on. I'm just go with it. That's what I like about Nick Walker. He calls it like it is, and he's not politically correct, so to speak. Yeah. And I think that's what some of the people that do watch my channel like, is that I just say like it is. I'm not beholden to nobody. I'm not trying to be, Mr. Nice Guy all the time or politically correct. It's just I say it like it is, and I get a lot of clapback. I got a lot of clapback when I said about Andrew Jack at the 2024 Pittsburgh Pro guest posing that he's a little too heavy for 11 weeks out from a show, and people didn't like that, especially his coach Chris Lewis didn't like it, so he took to the internet and he dragged my name through the mud. Say I'm destroying bodybuilding. I'm trash talking these bodybuilders, and so I called him out on my Matt and Mac truck show, and I said, "Brother, how am I destroying bodybuilding? How am I tearing down the community by just critiquing Andrew Jack's physique, saying he's a little too heavy?" And then I have Steve Weinberger on my show, and he backs it up and says, "Yeah, he's a little too heavy." Straightforward.
Also, the judges are going to agree with what you're saying. Like especially if it's a critique that you hear often on the internet, like it's going to be the same thing the judges are either thinking or saying. So you might as well take it as constructive criticism, which I think Nick does a good job of taking the criticism and changing what he can change and what he can't. He doesn't stress it. It's just him. I like that about him.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not personal.
No.
I think it becomes personal. I mean, I don't know if Andrew's taking it personally, but
he didn't care. And then see coaches that speak on behalf of their athletes. Like that's Chris Lewis speaking on behalf of Andrew. Andrew's not saying, "Oh man, muscle discords," saying I'm too heavy for 11 weeks out. It's not even him. It's
the thing about bodybuilding is if you make a critique on a physique, sometimes people take it as an attack on them, like their character, right? Imagine me saying, this has happened before, but I won't say exactly who, but let's say I'm like, okay, this person, I don't know if this person is going to win this year, right? And it's like, oh, why are you talking shit? You don't like me or whatever. I'm like, wait, but that doesn't mean it has nothing to do with like, right? It's not about like. If all of us are competing, and let's say Carlos wins, you know what I'm saying? Whoever loses, somebody say, yeah, I don't think Beatty can beat Carlos. Does that mean you don't like me? Like, it just means Carlos is better.
That's your opinion. Yeah.
Right. First of all, it's an opinion. And second of all, it's just in bodybuilding terms. It doesn't make it's not like you, or even if you say, oh, I don't prefer Nick's physique, does that mean you don't like Nick as a person? Or you don't think he's a good bodybuilder? No, it's
That's
just an opinion.
We have to cross that line where what's trash talking versus what's critiquing. And what Chris Lewis said was, I was trash talking. I'm trash talking these bodybuilders when I'm just critiquing their physiques. If I say Andrew Jack looked like shit on that stage, he looked like fat as shit. Different. That's trash talking.
Yeah.
Right. So let's get it straight here. Let's get the words. Let's choose our words wisely.
That's not critical and giving them positive critiques that they can actually change. You're just
constructive criticism.
Exactly. And we also live in a world that we can't just have different opinions, right? Why is that? Why is that a thing? Listen, I disagree with a lot. I mean, my own people on the podcast, we get into debates and arguments and shit, but it's not personal because we can just agree to disagree. Imagine if everybody agreed. That would be stupid, So I think boring. That'd be so boring. When you disagree with somebody, sometimes they take it personally. Like, I don't like you because you think different than me, and I don't think that's the way. Everybody has a place in this industry, and we don't even have to agree with each other. We can completely disagree and still be friends and still network. You know what I'm saying? Right. We all have different opinions, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that makes it better.
Yeah, I mean, I just call it like it is when I see an athlete and they need to work on their lats and they need to have wider lats or they have to improve their legs or whatnot. I'm not the type of channel that's just doing these reviews on these athletes and just kind of being a fanboy in a sense, saying, oh, he looks really good, it looks great, to look at his update, he looks like, I'm going to pick apart that athlete because these are the top level bodybuilders in the world and they're trying to get to the Olympia stage or become the Mr. Olympia, and it's constructive criticism and it's for good. It's to point out what they need to work on, their flaws, not just to be like, oh, he looks great. If all you hear someone saying you look great, you're never going to make improvements. So you got to point out what they need to work on and give them that constructive criticism.
I like that you didn't switch up all of a sudden when you had Nick on, right? You still felt the same, right?
Yeah.
It's nothing personal. You just, I think your waist is a little wide.
See,
it's just opinion.
I can't stand it when people change their opinion based on who they're talking to, because they'll I won't say who. There's been people that'll say something negative about my physique, but then to someone that knows me or a coach of mine or whatever, they're gonna sing my praises, and it's like, bro, just make your decision. I'm not offended by it. But don't just depending on who you're talking to, change your mind because you want to suck up to everybody that you're in front of. I hate that. Stick to your guns at least,
What's up, Stu?
What up?
Nice shirt, Stu.
You, Jordan.
What's up?
No holds barred. I'll always be honest with you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, bro. That's what friends are for.
Yeah, me and Stu talk shit about you all the time, Justin. No hard feelings.
Yeah, you call me Justin. My name's Jordan.
Oh, bro, I'm still doing
I will tell you, the easiest slip for anybody. There's so many Justins in bodybuilding.
Yeah, there is.
I'm the only Jordan, and it's so easy for people to be trying to talk about me, and they're like Justin, and it's
all the time.
My name. It's okay.
Every time he's on a podcast, I call him Justin. Which is
There's a lot of Justins, bro.
There are. That's odd. Why are there so many Justins?
Yeah, that one episode I had Compton, I had Wyatt, and I was actually gonna have I forgot about the third Justin is, but I was gonna have another Justin. It was almost three Justins on one episode. Too much Justins. But yeah, Stu, you was the only one here that was actually at New York Pro.
No, Carlos was there. Yeah.
Oh, Carlos was there.
Oh yeah, you were there. Okay.
I didn't see the show. I was in it, so you can probably know it better than me.
Okay, so
when you're the backstage,
when you're there competing, do you really know how other people look, or you don't really even think about it?
Well, when they're standing there in line, it's if they're fat, you can tell, just standing there. But if they're in shape, it doesn't really necessarily look like anything impressive until they start posing. Nick's a great example. When he's just standing there, look.
It's freakish.
I mean, there's a lot of muscle hanging off of him, but it's not you can't tell how lean he is. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's difficult to. Yeah, I think backstage, I kind of try to size people up. I saw Stu backstage that you were saying. I'm like, oh yeah, he's probably gonna win this one. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you can't really tell. I remember seeing Barrow, and I'm like, damn, is he why he looks so big? What, am I that big? Sometimes you can't tell what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, he's big in person though, bro. He's really big in person. I feel small next to him right now. I will tell you that.
It's I mean, I kind of have that same effect on people. I'm bigger in real life than people realize.
You are.
So I don't know. When I first went to the USA's though, I was looking around at all these freak national level bodybuilders. What the fuck am I doing here? I'm out of my depth. And I was one of the big guys on stage. So you just have no perspective until you see.
You don't realize it until you're up there next to people and see the pictures after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was watching Stu that prep, I remember I don't know, maybe 16 weeks out. I'm like, meh. And then 8 weeks out, I'm like, oh, okay. I see the waist coming in. Okay. Because, that year he got a little heavy. And then 4 weeks out, I'm like, nah, maybe not. And then once I see him backstage, I was like, oh fuck.
Well, Trey was busting my balls because the check-in pictures that I was posting and sending and stuff, they look like crap because my phone sucked. And it just didn't translate, So
that's my advantage this prep. I'm taking my check-in pictures now in very unfavorable lighting, so everybody's gonna be surprised once they actually see me.
Yeah.
You got to. Then you just push harder. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, should these suck? I got
not lean enough.
I gotta start doing that. I mean, the pictures that I send in Compton is always shitty pictures, but online, I got the Sony, I got the whole thing going. Man. That shit looks, But then what that does is you might look too good online. You know what I'm saying? You might look too good.
That one you just posted recently looks good, bro. You look good.
Thank you, man.
Or Beatty, Beatty's the one. Yeah, I was looking at that set of pictures,
You
bro.
too. Yeah,
your shape is nuts, Beatty.
Jordan, you know how it is though. You know when I look at it, I'm like, I don't want to post this. I'm fat.
Mhm.
You know, oh man. You know, you can't see it. I mean,
Or
I mean,
you'll be
I can
like,
see.
I'll look better in like 3 or 4 days, so I'm gonna hold off.
I'm a
Yeah.
hold on. I mean, you can see improvement from year to year for sure. I see that, but I never look at myself and be like, "Oh man, this looks so good." I don't think any of us. But
Nobody
maybe in the
does.
gym with a pump,
Nobody does.
you might
Yeah.
like,
Right.
"Oh, I like this."
That's
But
the only
generally,
time, bro.
yeah. Jordan's physique. Let me pull up Jordan. Jordan's physique. It comes together like it appears to be quick. I know you've been dieting for a while, but watching it looks like it's fast.
Inside 10 weeks, I changed a lot. And I never look like much in the off season, that's for sure. Very
Yeah,
unimpressive in the off season.
his shit comes alive like crazy. Let me
Hey,
see.
Jordan, I noticed you mentioned it was I think Liana was using the new fit. Was it a newbie
Yeah,
on your
Mhm.
obliques?
dude, it
Help
helped.
you
She put it
connect?
on,
Asking me
yeah,
about
she
that.
put it on my obliques and even on my abs, and we were doing ab vacuums and stuff and stretches with the new X on my abs and my obliques and everything. And then the past like several days, I've been absolutely crushing vacuums every day, hitting abs every day in the gym, but like focused on really tightening my obliques and my core. And it's crazy the difference I've had in just a week.
Yeah, it is
So
noticeable. You know what's
Wait,
I've dropped some weight too, so that's a factor, but it definitely helped.
Yeah, the picture
wait,
there in the middle.
Yeah.
Don't
which
scroll
one?
past it, Beatty. Don't start doing this again.
Which one you wanna? Which
Yeah,
one I see?
that
This one?
That's my last check-in pictures. That's the lighting that's like last year I had this goon down lighting that was like so good
Yeah.
for making me look lean, but this is like LED that's straight at me, so
I
it's more
mean,
flat versus making me look bubbly.
you look lean though. Listen,
Yeah.
you didn't have
Yeah,
these
dude.
lines like a couple weeks ago. They
No, a
came out of
lot
You
of
changed
nowhere.
changes
fast.
happened.
Holy shit.
Like
We
in like 2
pushed
weeks, man,
too.
you changed.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, but your legs still look. See, like when I start getting these lines, my legs start getting flat, and this shit pisses me off because it's either like it's full and round, or it's like peeled and like flat. But
My
yours
upper
looks
goes
pretty.
flat. My quads will never go flat. It's my upper that does, sadly.
that doesn't surprise me at all.
My arms, shoulders, and chest don't never go flat.
This is
I could
good for
be
8.5 weeks. Yeah, this is really, what's the weight?
that's
I can't
good.
see it because our video
Oh,
or things are
I
blocking it.
hit a new low of
260.
260.8 that day, but then yesterday I came right back up to like 264. I sweat a ton, or today I came back up to 264. I think those pictures were yesterday.
That's a lean 260, bro.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty good
I'm
shit.
happy with
These
this
are the
week.
goon
I was,
lighting. This is the goon lighting at Absolute
it
Recon.
is, it is. This is favorable lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, good shit. This is the lighting, pretty much the lighting I use all the time. All right, that's enough of that. But anyways, back to New York. So yeah, Stu, at the show there in person, like against the competitors, who stood out to you that looked like impressive, like in person, like up
Uh,
close? Everybody, I'm sure, but
yeah, I mean, everybody just kind of like Martin looks very wide and dense, just standing there. Nick also looks, it kind of looks like Martin's muscle kind of pops off of him. Nick's kind of hangs off of him, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
When they're just standing there. But yeah, they were both very impressive. And then Tonio's just Tonio. He looks 30 pounds bigger than he is all
that's
the time,
insane.
which is annoying.
Yeah,
But
What about Christian? I had Christian on the show yesterday. I'm going to drop that tomorrow.
in great shape. I think he doesn't have quite. I think he said he was like 240, and he's
240.
oh,
height, so he
shit.
probably needs another 10 pounds or so, and then he's going to be like muscularity wise right in there with the top four, right?
Yeah.
He's not
Well,
like
honestly,
light by any means, but
He said he's 175 centimeter,
yeah.
what is that, like 5'10"?
5'8" or something.
Yeah.
He was about my height. I remember that.
Oh,
Yeah.
He looks tall, right? He looks tall visually.
Yeah.
He's a little bit taller than me.
Yeah.
He actually reached out to me. He's getting sprayed by the LSR people for the Cal because he's doing that one too. He really liked my tan backstage. I was talking to him about it.
Well, did you hear what Palumbo was saying about your tan? That it's like muddy.
Columbo's full of shit.
Like
My tan is better than anyone's.
Yeah, I looked back at the pictures and I was like, his tan.
It just looks normal. It doesn't look.
Yeah, the tan was fucking perfect. I didn't sweat at all. Everyone else besides Tonio, because he's like uber black and doesn't sweat, like it was like sweating like crazy. And mine, like I didn't even need to like rinse off and get resprayed. They did like barely a touch up on me after prejudging. It's just a different hue to like the other.
Yes, it's a different shade of tan than like, see, Nick Walker was a dark tan. You had a lighter.
They were more like reddish, and I was more like brown.
Yeah.
So it was different, you know, so that's going to draw someone's eye and say, oh, there's something wrong with your tan. No, my tan was fucking perfect. The best tan I had, actually.
Yeah. They're different. Hey, Carlos, do you tan post show?
But pre-show, like for the
pre-show,
I do. Just a bit because on my low back, like I have like birthmarks, and you know, I mean, it's just like a little blotch of your skin, like there, and so I try to tan a little bit to kind of like even out everything. Probably like a couple times, 2-3 times a week, nothing crazy.
Low key, I want to try not applying any tan. Everybody says it's a mistake because your skin tone might not be even. I want to see what it looks like, you know? Like, I look at Terrence Ruffin, and I'll be like, maybe you could be too dark sometimes. I don't know. But it's going to change your undertone. I don't know if it makes you darker if you're already black, but it would change the undertone. I kind of want to see what it looks like without it, if I'm being honest. You know?
I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't risk it. If you're going to compete, I wouldn't risk not being polished.
Not at all, though. Yeah. Do a guest pose and then just don't do anything.
Yeah. The only people I've heard not use a tan was Max Charles and Bayeki, but I don't want anything Bayeki does. I want to stay away from it. I don't want to replicate his peaking protocols. But I might try. I mean, I'm pretty dark, man. I'm pretty dark. Like it wouldn't be that noticeable, but any little thing could be, you know, you'd be surprised, you know. All right. Carlos, you being there in person, who impressed you the most?
Hey man, they all really impressed me, really much like the same. I think honestly, like the sheer size of Stu really just stood out to me. Like I haven't seen you in person too many times, but you're like we were just speaking earlier. You are a big dude, and when you mentioned on the podcast we did with Desktop, like they put you right next to Nick, and like you don't look out of place at all, like muscularity wise, size wise, standing next to those guys. So
his frame is a little smaller than mine, so like per square inch, he's
it evens out
muscular, but like I mean, 10 more pounds on me, which I think is realistic. Like,
you're
far off.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, honestly, I think like looking at it, and cause I look back over the pictures again, and man, I honestly like, I think Stu stood out to me a lot, man. Like, he brought a really good package, and I could have seen, in my opinion, I could have seen you pushing to third, bro. Like, you have that, you have a good waist, you have a good structure, good shape. You know, quarter turns, your symmetry, and your mandatory poses are really good. So, Stu stood out to me, like, all right, like being there at the show and then going back and going over like videos and pictures. I think he really stood out to me. I kind of knew what Martin and Nick were going to bring from everything that they showed, and then Tonio's Tonio. We all know he's pretty consistent. But yeah, I would say Stu, you stood out to me a lot, man.
Yeah. I talked to Tyler. Well, I messaged him and asked for.
He got back to you?
Yeah, he actually did.
Great.
He said, "Don't fucking change anything." So the only thing I'm going to taper my water a little bit harder. I think it could have been drier in the morning. By the time I got to finals, I was drier and I hadn't drank all day. So there's that. I'll probably eat a little more the morning of, just like dense, junky shit, because that helps me personally. And I need to pump up a little more. But just, little stuff. It's not like, rocking the boat much.
Yeah. Stu obviously bigger than Tonio. I believe he was in better condition as well. Stu is aesthetic enough, and he's like a aesthetic guy who's almost like a mass monster at the same time, right? So the only thing I see Tonio getting him on is obviously he has a really small waist. I think Stu has a small waist too, but Tonio, like his genetic hip structure is just like non-existent. And then he has a certain pop to his muscles, right?
He's just round.
What was the difference in the scoring? What was the scorecard between Stu and Tonio?
There was no split decision. It was like 9 and 12, at least, after they took out the high-low shit. It wasn't like a 1 point or anything like that.
So really the only thing Tonio gets Stu on is genetics, right? The muscle belly is the roundness.
The tie-in and all that.
Fuck.
I think people will say like maybe Stu could have been more conditioned. I think Stu was like, I don't think it was any different. Stu was more conditioned than Tonio. Like if anyone says
from the back and everything,
it's more of like a separation thing.
My glutes have like one line in them. So if you're just glancing at a picture, it's like, oh, he's only got one line. He's not that lean. But like the skin on my glutes is like very thin. It's there, right? I just don't have that separation there. And it's not because I like shoot it a bunch. I haven't shot my glutes ever, actually. I just don't have it. It's annoying.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it might actually be the opposite. Like knowing Stu's body, he might actually look even harder if he was fuller, believe it or not. Right?
Yeah, typically like the morning of, especially like the more shit that I eat in the morning, like I've never spilled in my life as far as I can tell. Like it just kind of pulls more water into the muscle from out under the skin, and everything just kind of pops better. I just have to be careful not to, distend my stomach, but that's not all.
Well, because if like you just said about Quint, right? Some people say, well, Quint looked like he was a little softer in the upper body. He could have been harder. I think it's the opposite. I think he needs to be fuller to actually appear harder. He's in shape. Like make no mistake. He was in shape. It's just that if anything, he lost that. I mean, it happened to me last year, right? I mean, was I in shape? Yes, but I was so flat that some body parts, right? Whatever your weak area is, it's gonna look less conditioned, even if you're in shape. So it's one of those things. Sometimes in my vision, that's why even if you listen to the judges, you have to talk to your coach, because the judges are going by what they see visually. So a judge might tell Quint, get a little sharper here, but in actuality, or like Derek Lunsford, get a little sharper here. Whereas in actuality, they're actually flat in that area. Not Derek has no body fat. Like Derek is not holding fat in his chest. Like no fat there.
Who the fuck holds fat in their chest?
Nobody.
Mexican guys, kind of.
Okay.
Still, but yeah, it's one of those things. So if anything, some of these guys fuller, they would actually look sharper. You know what I'm saying?
You can tell from like they're just posing, like nothing would really pop. Off
his chest. Quentin's chest was thing was
he would
popping
hit
in
this or like this. Nothing was really happening, and you can see that like it was very apparent from when he came on stage. So, like you said, I think it was just like like they pushed a little bit too far.
Sure.
And it's just kind of hard to recover that. I mean, especially when he's such a tall guy.
He did make improvements though. Like
he did. His back got way better.
Poor guy. Like lay the fuck off. Like, he wasn't as big as we expected him, but his back is better, and he was in significantly better condition. Like he was leaner, just less body fat. So he's going to rebound a bit and hit Toronto, and hopefully should be looking really good. He was saying backstage that like when he carbs up, like every time, no matter what they do, it's just he holds a little film of fluid just from eating. So he has to like be careful and kind of do it in advance, and then in combination with some diuretics, like clear that shit out. So he's a harder guy to peak than like a white guy like me. I just kind of like bring my water down, bring my food up, it's like and land. It's not that complicated.
My peaks are a little similar to that. I kind of have to peak a couple of days ahead, then bring the food back down.
Oh,
So
really?
that I'm not holding as much. I'll hold more right off of the high days. So I'll do like high days, like Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday, and then bring it back down for a day or two. And then, kind of play it by ear at the very end. But I usually look better off of high days earlier on, loading it on the front end, and kind of coming back down. So I don't know, I'm white, but it's different for me.
I like my generalizations.
I know, he's like, hold up here, no stereotypes.
This is the tough part, right? It's like hindsight is always 2020, right? So it's like, you should come in fuller, right? And then, okay, let's we could say Nick for instance, he did the Arnold. Let me get fucking shredded, peeled, blow Samson out the water because he's not gonna be hard. Coming peeled, and it's like, legs are a little flat. Coming fuller, right? You come in fuller, and then it's like, stomach waist a little, coming tighter. So it's like it's tough, right? So what if when I come in blasting fucking full, 280, and it's like, coming a little drier. So it's like you don't really know till you see it. So sometimes, especially if you haven't competed in 2 years, right? Nick hasn't competed in a year and a half. Quinn hasn't competed in 2 years. So to land it, it's easy to sit here and say, "Oh, you should have done this," but how would you know? You're just going based off the feedback from last time and like a new look. You know what I'm saying? So it's always
different too.
Yeah, especially after that long season. He's just, fucked with the burden of insanely high expectations. Because the guy turned pro natural years ago, and he's my age. He's like 27 or 28.
Crazy.
In 10 years, I think he absolutely has the potential to be better than both Andrew and Samson. I mean,
and that's the thing we were talking about before is like, he's always getting compared to these guys who are like 10, 12 years older to him. So it's difficult to be like, man, you're 28, but he's going to be better than Samson. I'm like, I got 10 years. Even if Samson, probably started a little bit later in his career, or Andrew, like they're still older, more seasoned, men, grown ass men. So, when you're comparing those two, it's like, just give him his time and he'll get there. And like, if you look with with a good eye, like he's made progress. And I think he's good. This will set him up even better, pushing down to this condition. Cause like, I think you mentioned this, Stu, last time when we were talking about it, desktop, like they don't get that condition, like Samson or Andrew, they don't get that condition.
Right.
Now he adds that extra size and it's balls in his court.
Yeah. And he's gotten there once before now. So like,
get there again.
There's going to be easier. I mean, shit, dude, Carlos, when's the last time you competed? Texas? With Jordan? I mean, you kind of have the same shit sandwich of like insanely high expectations, but you're dealing with these gut issues, and the fans are just shitty about it, That's bodybuilding fans, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Nobody does, right? It's like last year, what you used to do. Oh, why did you stop at what was the last show you did?
Cali. I had to go back to fucking work, dude.
You see what I'm saying? This is thing. Like I feel like people don't think about these things. Like sometimes you might have even some of the '90s guys. What are you guys doing? Do every fucking show, and it's like, bro, these guys. If not like back when they used to just pay for all your flights and shit. A lot of these people are paying out of pocket.
It's different.
People are working jobs. People have there's so much that going on that you don't know to just assume. Hey, Stu, why didn't you just do every show? It's like. What?
Stu got PTO. You know what I mean? He running out.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Days. I actually
after all 6 days of PTO
down to San Diego and hung out for a few days with my uncle and my girlfriend. I was supposed to be at work and I was just like, man, fuck this. Too tired. I'm eating. I'll be back in a few.
Yeah. Listen, for the most part, don't completely listen to anything, whether good or bad. Take everything with a grain of salt, right? The same people that tell you, stop being a pussy, you young guys, do every show. And then you pull a Samson or Andrew, then it's like, whoa, or Justin Rodriguez, right? Oh, whoa, relax, stop competing so much. How's your blood work? Oh, you look unhealthy. You should take a break. The same people who are telling you do every fucking show, fucking 20 shows a year, are the same people that are going to be like, oh, no, you're not making improvements. You're coming in soft. Your body needs rest.
Yeah.
Which one is it? Like,
How do you
nobody
expect me
else,
to make improvements?
you know what I'm saying? Nobody
Yeah.
else should be telling you how much shows you should be doing. Only you know your body and what you have to go through. Tonio could do every show and he'll be fine because, I mean, Tonio, you know, he could have burgers and prep. I mean, he gets pretty shredded pretty fast, you know. And you have somebody like, I don't know, who's hard to get in shape, or somebody like Carlos. You want to tell Carlos do 10 shows? He's battling his gut issue. There's so much going on. You can't just say, "Oh, just do every show." It's like it's not that simple. There's a lot of stuff that people don't think about. And
yeah, I think they kind of assume at this level that everyone's just Nick Walker. You know, you got fat sponsorships. You're sitting at home getting massage therapy. You're like, everything's taken care of for you. People are cooking your food for you. It's like,
oh yeah,
this is and it's not like that.
No,
we would train for that too.
Flight,
We would
hotel,
love to train for that.
Everything, yeah, man. It's expensive to compete and travel and take time off, whatever you're doing. If you're coaching, you got to leave the gym. You can't personal train clients, things like that. So you're losing money in a sense there. So it's not easy. Like back in the day when you had Milos and Chris Cormier doing the tours and the circuits, they had, you know, we had Weider contracts, right? They were taken care of.
I'm so stressed out this week because like I'm trying to like stay on top of all the check-ins and stuff. Like I moved everyone's check-in day like Tuesday and Wednesday, so I can get some shit done before the weekend because I'm just I can't do it. And
I was just about to say that. Even if you're a coach, it's like, you know what I mean? You know how it is those last few days, man. You're zoned in, trying to do your thing, trying to make sure you're staying stress-free. And then here's someone asking, can I have asparagus over green beans? And you're just like,
Stacks up fast, bro.
Oh man, the first time I prepped with Compton, and I kind of saw what it took, at least for me, for my body to get in shape, even though I still wasn't in shape, but I kind of saw what it took for me to get in shape. 4 weeks out, sending him check-ins was like chopping off a leg. Just getting up and setting up the tripod, I didn't want to do it. And I literally missed like 2 check-ins. He's like, "Yo, you okay?" I'm like, "I'm okay. I think I'm okay. I don't know." I'm like, "Is this normal?" He's like, "Yeah, bro, you'll be all right. You're not gonna die. You're not gonna die. You just feel like you're gonna die. You'll be fine." And I'm like, I'm not gonna believe everybody feels like this. There's no way. There's zero chance everybody feels like this. I'm fucking retiring. This is my last show. Get the fuck out of here. You know. And then you get over it. Yeah, I mean, first of all, every single prep is not going to be like that, but usually that first time where you actually have to get in real shape and you don't have like a crazy gifted metabolism, right? You're gonna feel. I mean, even if you do have a good metabolism, you probably still feel like shit that first time.
No, you do. It's just being lean and like having, you know, your estrogen crashed and your hormones all out of whack. It's just, you just feel awful, and you get used to it the more times you do it. Like this year, I feel a hell of a lot better than I did a couple years ago, the first time I did this, right? But it's still just like slow. Everything's slow.
How much cardio are you doing, Steve? Because
right now, none. I mean, I cut it out before shows, but the highest it got was like 34 minutes of walking in the morning and 15 minutes of stairs after.
Because
34?
34.
34 exactly.
The exact number.
5, bro.
32. 34.
35.
Because Christian, who I had on yesterday, said he was doing no cardio. He just did cardio 3 weeks before the show. And then Martin is saying he's not doing any cardio. How are these guys doing it?
Marty never does cardio. He just trains for 2 hours nonstop, tons of volume.
Yeah.
I've watched that guy train, and I understand now why he doesn't do cardio.
It's crazy.
I want to try that in a prep. Like, I think I could probably get away with it if I just brought my food down. Is it going to be more beneficial to eat more and do a little cardio in the morning? I think it is.
Do you think that's why he looks so round?
What's
so.
The roundness and the fullness to the muscle, because you're not doing so much cardio and depleting the body down. And do you think that's why guys who don't do cardio, like even Christian has pretty round muscle bellies too, in the quads too. They're not all withered away and
I mean, if you're talking about like doing 2 hours of cardio, yeah, that can be a problem. I've never needed to go that high. Although I have noticed, not this year, but in past years, like Blue would have me start doing like stairs post workout, literally just like 10, 12 minutes. And my legs would flatten out immediately. It was
Mine
really
too.
bad. So
Yeah.
I'm someone who has to be careful with it, but I also don't need to do a ton. So
No, yeah. No, even for me,
So-
man, like the stairs would take me down, dude. Like, and I mean, obviously my legs are my best body part, but you know, if I can't go over like to 30 minutes on the stairs, man. Like it feels like a leg workout for me.
You'll
So,
see that
and I mean,
flatness like
your own
within a
leg
week,
that
bro.
many times.
yeah,
It's so heavy.
Yeah.
so
So one thing I always tell Martin is the last person I seen that shredded yet that round and full was Compton, right? I mean, Phil, obviously Phil.
Oh, yeah.
Phil,
Yeah.
Phil is just Phil don't count. Phil is just Phil Heath, but Compton. And I remember Compton saying in the past he would, because Compton was self-coached. He hated cardio so much he would purposely do a shit ton of volume just to not have to do cardio or as much cardio, and then he would just get rounder and fuller, right? Martin, first of all, everybody can't do that. Let's get
No.
that straight. Everybody can't just, so me, if I do a lot of volume, my body just shuts down. I build up so much fatigue. So everybody can't do that. Now, if you can do that, because Compton was able to diet on a lot of food as well, right? Martin was on like 400 carbs basically for the prep, something like that. Maybe even higher, I think. His depleting was 300, so he was probably like 400 or 500. Compton was the same. So if you can eat that much food and you don't need much cardio, if any, and you do, Martin said he did some junk volume, right? Just extra volume. And Compton did a shit ton of volume too. And I think it might have, instead of doing a bunch of cardio and their legs getting flat and shit, they're just pumping their muscles full of blood, not necessarily even breaking it down, just keeping it volumized. I think for them, those two guys, it works and to keep them really round and full,
Yeah, I think it's just, I mean, not just the lack of cardio, but like just how Martin trains year round. I trained back with him one time. We did like 7 back movements, and
Yeah.
everything was like 10 reps, 10 reps, 10 reps, 10 reps, 10 reps, all the way to a top set, and like a huge back offset. And it's way different than how I train, but I can see how that works for him with the way he applies it. It's just very different, but I think that's why he's so round. It's just tons of volume.
Well, that's that Kuwait style training, and they're pretty round in Kuwait. That Rowley and Brandon was training like that too. Mark Hector had went there for a while, and he said he felt like he was rounder when he trained that way. But Mark doesn't need to be any rounder. He's fucking rounded the house, so he's trying to get dense now. So he's doing like less volume. I think Stu can pull that off. I think Stu could probably not do cardio and do like a bunch of volume and look potentially even rounder. I don't know.
Stu's pretty round as it is.
You're
Though.
gonna
He's
go
pretty
flat
round.
from it.
He does, yeah. He might go
You
flat.
do wonder if
he
you would go flat from the extra training volume as well, though. I mean,
I
it could.
think if it was like hard sets of exercises, then yeah, I could overdo it pretty quick. I have to. I'm not like I can't just do 4 sets of 7 exercises like to failure and be fine.
yeah.
Mhm.
I can overdo it pretty easy. But like if I'm doing a little junk volume, the sets aren't to failure, and I'm just pumping
Yeah.
myself up, then yeah, that's not going to cause much fatigue, and I can probably get away with it. But honestly, man, I think I kind of enjoy doing cardio in the morning when I'm in prep, right up until like 2 weeks out, then it sucks. But like, a little bit of some fat burners in the morning, like Clen, Yohimbine, growth
Kratom.
hormone, put all those
Ooh.
things in there, and you're
Kratom,
fast if your blood sugar's low. Like I think it makes sense that that's going to be better for burning fat specifically. As long as you're not doing too much, which I mean, 34 minutes of walking is not too much. So
No. And take it with a grain of salt, because first of all, Martin and Compton are freaks, but Martin is also 27. Compton was 25, 26 as prime that he competed. So they're very young guys as well. If you're not 25, 27, it's probably gonna be a little harder to recover from that volume.
Yeah,
and these
that's
guys,
true.
even though he called it junk volume, Martin trains to failure, and so did Compton. So these sets, they're doing all these sets. It is failure. I'm not gonna say it's like Dorian failure, but they're not stopping with like reps in reserve. You know what I'm saying? They're pushing it. You know, so I definitely wouldn't recommend that though to 99.9% of people. But what were we talking about? New York. I want to do Cal Pro predictions, but being that I didn't have you guys on, did you guys agree with the placings in New York?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you think it was close as it was?
For the most part, I mean, I think it was more of. I think it's hard to choose between preferential and just bodybuilding criteria watching that show because, like, I fight with myself like, okay, preferentially, what do I like? I don't know that I would have gone the placing. I would have swapped a couple places personally. But then, like, based on bodybuilding criteria, I can see why it was the way it was.
Well, now I want to know who you would have swapped. So
I mean, dude, I love Martin's physique, but Nick, just by bodybuilding criteria, he's just humongous, bro. Like, how do you? And I could, in pose by pose, I can see, and I like both of their physiques. Nick's awesome. I really look up to Nick. I love Nick, but like Martin's physique just catches my eye. Based on like the shape and the roundness, the fullness, the detail and lines and everything. And just in that situation, I feel like against the last Nick we saw at the Arnold, I don't feel like Martin would have fared as well against that Nick personally. I don't know which Nick you guys preferred, but I think I preferred the last Nick we saw before this one. That's the last one.
Yeah.
It just sucks because he lost that show and he was told to come in fuller. Because if not, he probably would have bought a similar look to that. So it was like he almost did it because he believed that was the best. I mean, he won New York, so technically it did work, right? But to go back to Jordan's point, it's like you go back to Dorian, right? I prefer Sean Ray, Kevin Levrone, and Flex physique over Dorian. But at the same time, am I going to say the judges made the wrong call in picking Dorian? I'm like, I can see how Dorian by bodybuilding criteria would win. He's bigger, harder. He looked really good in all the poses, right? Even though his waist is wider, he's not as aesthetic. You can't really say Dorian didn't look very good in every single pose. You know, but just looking at him, I'm like, I don't like his arms. I don't like his quad sweep, you know, and I prefer Kevin, Flex, and Sean. Well, I do think Nasser should have beat him 1 year and Sean should have beat him 1 year. But outside of that, for generally, I do, but, you know, Dorian isn't most people's cup of tea. But most people be like, yeah, I agree he won. So sometimes preference and bodybuilding criteria, it doesn't always align, you know. If Martin would have won, maybe some people would be upset, but generally, I don't think too many people will have an issue with it. But same thing as Nick won, I don't think anybody has an issue with it as well. It's just preference,
not at all,
right? Yeah.
Except for like the diehard fanboys, you know, they're all in the comments. They're all close. It really was like you have a panel of 7 judges, and it was a 1-point decision.
Yeah, it was close. I didn't have it as being that close. I thought it was a little bit more of a gap, but just because of Nick's size, he's got the size. His symmetry isn't the best, but he's got the shape. Conditioning was enough. So I just thought that maybe it was like a 3 or 4 point spread, but not one.
Well,
but
I think what it speaks to is like clearly on that panel, you had some people who preferred the more aesthetic look and some people preferred, you know, Nick's look. And it's really just apples and oranges, and it was split pretty down the middle, right? So really could have gone both ways.
Well, he did say that Nick needs to come in tighter now. So is he gonna come in flatter with the Olympia now because they want him tighter?
It's tough, right?
Like it's a tough.
Yeah,
it's a tough one. Well, but Martin, I don't think he gave any critique for Martin, right? He doesn't need to. Oh, he said try to if you can add some tissue possibly between now and then, which. Martin knowing Martin, he probably could add like 2-3 pounds. But
yeah, he said that Martin's physique was perfectly peaked, which
what can
you do there?
Yeah, Martin is like the peak king. Like he, I mean, every one of his show peaks I thought was for what his physique had at the time. I thought was flawless. You
I
know,
have to
I thought
agree with that. Yeah.
because even Texas, I felt like he was underrated because I'm like, yes, Andrew beat him, but I gotta be honest. I mean, I felt like
Yeah,
it wasn't that convincing. You
I
know,
agree.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
I was at that one too, man. He was peeled out of his mind.
He just
yeah,
comes in
Martin was
so
peeled out of his mind.
crisp
I was
and
there. It was
detailed
crazy.
and still full. Like
Yeah,
he's
it's just Andrew
always
had that freak.
classy full.
that wow
Andrew just came on the
factor.
scene. He had that freak statue wow factor we never saw before. So
That's what it
everyone
was.
got overwhelmed. But if it was like, say if we had already seen him a bit, it
I
probably would have
agree.
leaned more in Martin's favor.
I think right now, I think at the Olympia, Martin will place ahead of Andrew. I also love Andrew's physique. So, like we talked about earlier, that don't mean I don't like Andrew because I'm saying Martin's going to beat him.
Right.
I'm just saying I think at this point, I think they both are going to be very improved. But like you said, that initial wow factor of Andrew, like what the fuck is this? Look at his abs. Why does he look like his tan? I'm like, why does his skin look perfectly bronze and the oil was reflecting? I'm like, what the fuck kind of oil is that? You know, I think it was Pam spray because George Farwer. I heard something about George Farwer with the Pam spray on black guys. It looks different. I'm like, that Pam spray, okay? Put
They
that
did
Pam
that
on.
shit backstage at most of the shows.
Yeah, you know.
Lady,
Because
you're gonna have some Pam spray in your bag backstage this year.
of course, yeah. Because when
Isn't
you
that
dark,
banned? That was banned.
oh well, then we're not gonna talk about it publicly. I'm gonna just have it in my.
Just
Oh
clear
yeah,
stuff with it.
never
Clear.
mind, never mind. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
No, because
yeah.
like a lot of dark skinned guys, the skin just absorbs that little glaze shit. That shit don't do nothing for me, man. My skin absorbs that shit in seconds. It's gone, you know. Especially when you're dehydrated. So you want something that's gonna really stick on you. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of those things
Do
that
you
work.
do you feel like the tan sometimes affects your vascularity, or does it help it or hurt it sometimes when you do the spray?
I
Like,
remember that. I
I
remember
remember one
Dexter.
time for me, it messed me up. Like it was like they put like this extra thing on there. And it was like, oh, it's for darker skinned guys. And it was like they spray tanned me, and it was backstage. They put like this extra thing on. I looked at my pictures. I was like, never again, never. I forgot what it was, but it was like I was like, never again. So from then on, I just get like a regular coat of tan. And
I think
to
it's
credits
also
too, I think. Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying the credits too. Like I think one of my best tans ever has when I got tanned by Liquid Sunrays.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it also depends on how many coats you have to put on. Like, that's why I'm
Yeah,
trying to
it's
get
too.
tan this year and not do, bro. Usually I have to do like 4 coats because I'm the
Yeah, I
pastiest
remember
guy.
last year, bro. You were like, I got to go shower this off. And it's like your fourth
Dude,
coat of tan or some shit.
yeah,
Crazy.
it just, I mean, and I don't sweat much on stage. Like when I was on the side of the stage, you know, all the guys were getting the sweat wiped off of them, and then the lady backstage was like, I mean, you're not even sweating, but as much tan as I have on, it's gonna bleed a little bit, even if I'm sweating a tiny, tiny bit, because I have so many coats on, and it gets a thicker look. Like you see
Yeah.
these guys that are real pasty, like Hollingshead, Brady King. I saw his updates today, like real
Looks good.
light skin, and it looks so grainy and peeled, and then it doesn't look the same with the tan on when you have to put that many coats. So I got to get my tan right this year. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Also, shaving. If you're like for me, I could shave Monday and I won't have any hair at the show. If you're a really hairy guy and you have to shave close to the show, I think it can cause a little bit of inflammation. I mean, I don't think it does, right? Whether you use actual shave or nair or whatever, it will cause some inflammation under your skin. Even though it's minimum, hey man, this is bodybuilding. Every percent counts. So if you can shave earlier, I would definitely shave earlier.
I definitely
I always
cannot.
use
sadly.
one of those Phillips one blades
I
Yeah,
love those.
razor. They're super handy. Gets
I've not used shaving cream in a long time. I just use those Norelco trimmers and stuff.
Perfect. Well, because it gets so close that you won't see any visible hair. But if you use an actual, like a big blade, that's too close. Like once you start getting cuts and shit,
Yeah.
that tells you it's so close, you're going to be inflamed. So you
Right.
probably don't want to do that. And Nair, I feel like it's chemicals. I don't want any chemicals on my skin. I think that alone can
if
cause.
you're putting tan on in a few days, you know.
Yeah. So
Plus,
so you got to be careful with that.
like if I get Nair on my head by accident, I'm fucked. Like my whole image is fucked.
Yeah, a little piece is missing in the.
I
It's
can't wear
over.
the serious bodybuilding shirt anymore, man.
Stu,
Yeah.
is Liquid Sunrays going to be at Chicago?
Yes, they are. Yeah, they are actually the host tanning company. I think.
Really?
I think so.
I don't, because I was looking at the website. It said Hotspot Tanning Hair and Makeup. So
Oh, okay.
I think that's the main one. I was like, I've never heard of them, so I need to look to see who's there.
Well,
So-
yeah. So I mean, the way that it's worked for me so far is they have if they're not the host tanning company, they'll have a technician on site to tan whatever team members are there.
Gotcha.
And technically they're not supposed to spray you in your hotel rooms, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well, and mama don't know won't hurt her.
Exactly. So, go ahead, Stu.
No. Yeah, they just kind of have people on site and they coordinate with the team. What's Jenna? She's like what's her position? She basically runs all of us idiots and tells us where to go, who to get tans from and stuff. So
Good to know.
Yeah. So I was watching this video, right? Oh, hold on a second. I was watching this video. I don't know if you guys follow Zem Fitness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
And I was which one? Okay. So I was looking at this. Hold up. This guy. This is Yosef, right?
Joseph,
Mhm.
Yeah.
With all due respect, how did Justin Rodriguez beat a guy that's this shredded?
I don't understand, bro.
I mean, he's from New York. Definitely would look.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because Joseph was third last year. It's not like he got overlooked last year.
Yeah.
Justin's just lost his midsection altogether,
Man.
bro. It's not even.
It's really unfortunate.
Not even good anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And he never had big triceps to begin with, but his tricep just completely atrophied. Like,
Yeah, his triceps.
Totally.
Yeah, they're gone.
yeah, and even he used to have he had probably the best back double at one point,
At one point, yeah.
and it's not there. I'm not sure what it is.
Even from the back, like watch his biceps. Like he has this peaky bicep, but it's like this narrow. I don't know. He does look like he's atrophying in places.
So two things. First thing is, I felt like Yosef should have beat Justin for sure. With all
I
due
agree.
respect. Second, what do you think this is? You think this is like nerve issues, like maybe not getting body work and things getting bound and tight and cutting off circulation? Like, okay, as we get older, things will change, but he's not like that old. I think he might be 40, but he's not like super old, right? It's not like he's pushing 50. And also, it happened suddenly. It wasn't like he was slowly getting worse. It was just like he was a top guy, and then boom, body parts went,
Bro, who knows what all's going on in his body? He's not taking a break for anything. It doesn't matter how he places. He won't take a break. So, like, who knows what's going on internally that's just destructive at this point?
Redlining himself,
It's not wise.
Yeah, AJ Sims was great for him, and I heard that AJ wanted him to take a long break, and he didn't want to take the break, so they stopped working together. I think that
AJ is also pretty aggressive with what he does, and you tend to see with him, you'll see like high level pros look really good with him a few times, and then they go somewhere else or sometimes retire, and maybe it was just too much on their body. What he had them doing, whether it was too difficult or too toxic, I don't know, but he's not shy from what I've heard,
to say the least. Okay, well, shout out Justin. That's unfortunate. He's from New York. He's from Bronx too. I've been knowing Justin for a while, so hopefully he takes a much needed break. And
Bro, he was backstage speaking in Spanish with Angel.
yeah,
What do you think?
he
What do you think it is? Do you think he just doesn't have anything else that because I mean, he's not big on social media. So like, you know how a lot of us guys are monetizing stuff. Do you think he just feels like forced to compete to try to make his way back, or what do you think it is?
I think he loves it. Honestly, I think he just loves
it.
it.
Yeah, he just loves to do what
I
he's doing,
think-
man.
And
And
he clearly likes posing too. Like he had a good posing routine that was put together. You know, I think he likes being on stage.
As long as you're having fun, barring that you have any health issues, fuck it, have fun.
Right.
It's just that it looks visually like his body isn't super healthy. We don't know, but that's what it would look like. So in this case, whether you love it or not, you do have to take a break and kind of evaluate things.
That's the problem. Is it is all speculation because plenty of people online are saying Hunter looks like his blood pressure's out the roof, and Hunter Labrada has great blood pressure. Like, there's things you can say on speculation of how someone's health looks by looking at their physique or what they're doing, but really only he knows. So I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad about the guy.
Yeah,
some
we
people
should do that, like, because people could be doing the same shit with us. I mean,
true.
people do that with me in past years because, like, my face would look really fucked up at the end of a prep, not just sunken in, but like it looked kind of unhealthy.
I don't think you were sleeping, man. You were in college during that time. I remember that.
Dude,
What?
did you ever get like
Weren't
puffy
you
eyes
in,
and
weren't
stuff?
you in like you were in college during that time? I remember your shots in your dorm room and everything. You were like when you were bodybuilding when you first started coming in.
he was definitely
I
wasn't
did
healthy.
compete in college, but I mean, you probably wouldn't have known who I was at that point because I wasn't very good.
No, I knew, dude. I knew. I followed you for a while.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean,
you had the very short haircut. You had a very short haircut.
yeah, that might have been right after college as well. I'm not sure, but yeah, like my face was just fucked up, looking. And I don't know what the difference is this year. I'm taking less drugs. That might be it. I feel better.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a prep in 2018. That was the one I was telling you, Beatty, was like the prep that I felt like I was dying. And probably 7 weeks out and all the way into the show, I had like puffy cheeks and eyes. And every morning I woke up for fasted cardio, I was like this, taking my check-in photos, and I looked like I got beat up. It looked like someone hit me in both eyes every day.
The exact same shit happened to me in 21, and I've seen it happen with somebody else too. When the first time you ever got in like really good condition, I think it's just like an accumulation of like fatigue and stress. I thought maybe it was a hyperthyroid issue because what in the past what Blue has had me do is bump up my T4 to like 200 when I start prep to kind of speed things up a little bit, and we weren't using T3. And I would get that water, like the puffy cheeks and the puffy eyes, and like those are symptoms of hyperthyroidism. So I was like, is that what's going on? I didn't bump up the T4 this year. We just kept it at 100 and used a little bit of T3 instead, like 18 grams. So it's so weird though, because like find any. I've seen examples of it, but like I haven't seen any good explanations of what's going on there.
There's some guys
because I wasn't. Sorry, go ahead.
But I was just going to say, there's some guys like I had to call Tony O'Burton on that. His face doesn't. He has puffy cheeks still. He's shredded.
His face don't get lean.
Some guys just have the
some
puffy
guys
cheeks.
are just that way. Like I think Regan doesn't have. His
Regan.
cheeks don't come down, and I didn't until like 2021. Then last year was my first time I really got like a diet face. But 2018, like, dude, I wasn't even on any T4 or T3 during that prep, so couldn't have been that for me. I was pushing trend harder than I ever would imagine doing nowadays. Looking back, I'm like, what was I doing saying okay to this? I was like probably 23 or something like that.
Well, you were
And
20.
looking back, I'm like, there's no wonder I couldn't sleep. Oh my gosh. Like, so it's funny how we actually taper off and realize that more is not better. But I don't know what it was other than, like you said, maybe stress and fatigue build up.
I think
But
that's it.
it was miserable.
Yeah.
It lasted for weeks after the show too. Probably like 6 weeks post show. I still had puffy eyes.
That's not
Crazy.
good. I think we all can agree that we put our body through some stuff that was not necessary, and we could actually look better today and be a lot healthier if we didn't do these things, you know. And like I said, it didn't improve our physiques at all. It's just being young and not as smart, whether it's a guidance from a aggressive coach or just your own doing. It can lead to that innocent.
You just want it bad enough, bro. Like if you got
Too
a
bad
coach
sometimes.
and you're locked in mentally on that prep, there's nothing anybody's going to tell you to stop doing what you're doing, like until the job's done. Then looking back, I was like, oh wow, like I was extremely over dieted. I lost 60 pounds in 16 weeks during that prep. Like you look back and be like, that was not the way to go. But when you're in it, you're like, I'm finishing the job, you know? And that's kind of what it takes to be at our level anyways, that mindset. But sometimes it takes you down the wrong path.
My first coach was John O'Regan, and there was a prep that he had me like on 500 carbs the whole prep. And it's weird because I wasn't lean, but I looked hard, like almost like I was lean, but I wasn't. I was just chemically hard. You know what I'm saying? Basically, it was just that's kind of the look he goes for. Bring you in big and chemically hard. Just have you dehydrated and drawn out, but you big though. Like if you look when Dallas turned pro working with John O'Regan, he wasn't in shape at all. But in his front poses, it could bamboozle you because the abs are in, you got chest striations, but you turn around, his ass was completely fat. It was not, you know what I'm saying? His ass was off season. His hamstring was off season. But from the front, his face was even drawn in. It was like fake. It was like fake condition, and John was good at that. For some people, it worked for. Well, I don't think Trigili was with John when he turned pro, but when you watch Trigili when he turned pro, he wasn't actually shredded, but he looked shredded, deceivingly shredded.
I think he was with George. I think at that point he was working with George.
Like he was kind of with either he wasn't really listening to him, but he was kind of with him, right? Something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't think Nick would listen to anybody for real. Trigili, I don't think he's coachable. he does his own thing, you know. But yeah, he looked hard. You were like, I think he's in shape, and you're like, is he? No. But sometimes for some physiques that could work. If you don't have like a fat ass, if you have a decent, let's say Lunsford, the way he has his glutes are, he could probably come in 10, 15 pounds heavier and still look kind of fake shredded. You dry him out, give him a bunch of Halo and diuretics. He could be.
Because his glutes come in way early before he's like totally done pulling body fat off.
They don't come in. They're just in all year.
They never come out. They never really.
It's like Wyatt. You know, Wyatt got his glutes in all year.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy,
that guy, dude. I'm so jealous.
How is that even possible? How you have like, you know, you're big in the face, the neck, everything is like off season, but you have perfect abs and a striated ass. Like what? That makes no
genetics,
sense.
Like, genetics.
I had a buddy in college who was exactly the same way. Like he'd have legit love handles, and then his glutes would be striated. It was so strange.
I know a guy like that too. Actually, I have a close friend that's that way.
I mean, Joe's glutes come in even when he's still holding body fat, right?
Yeah.
Because he'll have a good amount of body fat in his midsection. Shredded. I mean, his glutes were shredded like 10 weeks out, and he wasn't in shape. You know, 10 weeks. You know, so it must be nice. I mean,
is it genetics or
that's what I'm saying.
is it just dieting? Like for Samson Dowda, for example, with the glutes. You know.
No. Well, for him, he needs to get in shape. But he does. I don't think he has lines in his glutes per se.
No.
But I mean, it's both, right? Like you hold fat in different places. Like for him, he'll be ready up top from the front, right? But then his back could come in last. Whereas Derek, his back comes in first. and then his front comes in last, right?
I
So
think
like the
hormonally you can affect things too. Like I had a client who competed recently, and when I started he held all of his fat in his lower back and his ass, like tons right there. And when I started bumping up his AIs a bit, that started to come in a little faster because, you know, if you have higher estrogen, you're going to be more predisposed to storing fat in those specific areas because that's where women need it to protect children, basically. So you can kind of affect it to some extent with that, but like at the end of the day, you just need to get all the fat off, right?
Yeah, and to be honest, regardless of where you hold it, you got to lose all of it, right?
Yeah.
Like Derek can't be like my
Right.
glutes are in, so I'm gonna come in with fucking love handles, right? you still got to just get it all off, you know. So like somebody like Samson, it's just not all off, you know. Like I said, I don't believe that he'll have like ridges in his ass. But look at Andrew. Andrew at the Arnold when he was the one he was like shredded at, he didn't have ridges in his ass, but he didn't have body fat. Like you can look at that and be like he's not holding body fat.
Yeah.
So there's a difference. Whereas Samson, if you look at his lower abs, even like obliques, you look at his glutes, there is body fat, you know, not a shit ton, but there is some body fat there, you know. So they got to come off. They got to come off everywhere, you know. All right, let's pull up California.
22 guys.
It's a big lineup.
All right. It's big. Han Huynh is coming back. He had a pretty good physique, man. We'll talk about it, but
honestly, it's one of those. Where the hell were all these guys for Detroit?
Yeah, Jesus.
Right.
Holy shit, 22
guys.
It's just the timing of the show, man. It's hard.
Yeah,
I wanted to do Detroit, but
right.
it was just I can't do Texas, then have that short of an off season, come right back in April. Like
that's a good point. The timing of a show does make, you know, a sense with the turnout of guys. So
you almost have to get in a new cycle of competing at a certain time of the year.
Is Vancouver next week?
July 14th.
Toronto.
Yes, July. Yeah, July. Cal and Toronto. Yeah.
So
is there any like Orlando or anything? Like nothing between Toronto and Vancouver?
No, Orlando's not doing open anymore.
Oh, if you put Detroit,
Spain. Yeah.
If you could sneak Detroit in this time frame, it's gonna be loaded. Like basically anything after New York, Cali, I think it's gonna be loaded. I think because whoever doesn't win New York goes to Cali. Whoever doesn't win, you know, so it keeps you get that trickle on effect. By that point of the season, people are ready to compete. They're going, you know.
The whole European contingent that was in New York, all the German guys, the Czech guys, the Polish guys, they're all coming to California, you know?
Yeah. Well, also, I think we're going to see a lot more of that because, like Nathan said, hey, man, you're going to compete in Europe, you know, or like over there, overseas. It's going to be difficult. You have a lot of good guys out there. I mean, shit, you take BOYZ alone. BOYZ is washing everybody at this point. You got obviously Nathan. You got Andrew is in Dubai technically, but you also have Crizzo. You got Nexzilla. Who else you got overseas? That's 5 guys right there who still haven't qualified, right?
There's
most of
Italian guys too.
Yeah. I mean, most of the Olympia lineup are from overseas. Bonac still hasn't qualified. I know he's at the end of his career, but Bonac is still. If you think you're going to beat Bonac because he's old, I mean, you're not.
He's looking good, man. He just posted an update.
He come back.
He is
looks freaky. Good. So but I can say the same thing about the US guys. You know, you still got Stu, you still got Tonio, you still have Vito. I didn't even say Vito for overseas. So you still have a bunch of guys here too. So you can't really go anywhere to avoid the competition at this point because it's competition everywhere.
You can't run.
Yeah,
you can't run. You might as well just
Crizzo's over there.
You might as well just nut it up, man.
The Asian shows, like the Japan show last year, there was like Theo Laguerriere and Roman Fritz, and then like a few Asian guys, and it was like 7 or 8 guys in the whole show, and Theo won. That was like in November though. It was very late in the year.
Yeah.
Who the fuck wants to fly to Japan though? You know, I mean, Japan's cool. Like, I'd love to visit, but maybe not
To
on a
compete.
bodybuilding trip. You know?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
costly flight.
Yeah. All right. Eddie Bracamontes. Oh, we might see him today. He's in San Diego.
Yeah, I think he usually trains a little earlier in the day. I was asking if he was around, but I ain't seen him since I've been here.
I'm gonna have to look some of these guys up.
Yeah, Eddie.
You have
Tim Budesheim. I just
He's
want to
legit.
say he was like perfectly peaked.
Yes.
Lasting full, but still like super conditioned. He's dangerous. You know.
Probably the best we've seen him. I think it was like one of the best we've seen him.
him.
Oh yeah, way
Oh,
better.
shit.
Than last time he competed.
It's crazy.
Oh,
how
he
he
looks
fuck.
incredible at New York. It's just his waist that he has a hard time with from the front.
Well, it's funny you say that. Even though his waist is on a wide side, he still kind of looks aesthetic to me.
It's
Is
not
that
that
weird?
bad. It's not that bad.
Like
He closes it well.
his body fits together. His waist
Yeah,
is not
it
small
does.
by any means, right? But his body, it flows to me. Am I the only one that
agree.
thinks that?
No,
No,
I agree.
I
I
agree.
thought he was going to place higher ahead of New York. I had him higher, but
He's just
I've always liked his physique.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Remember he
Yeah,
did the
yeah.
Ferrigno show and he like came on the scene. He looked really crazy, man. Like,
He did.
yeah,
Right.
he's
Dennis
Been a fan of him.
podcast with me yesterday, and like they were
Who?
kind of Tim and I were on there with
On Menace?
Oh,
Yeah,
Tuesday. That's when they film. Yeah.
Milos and Dennis. And
Both of you?
yeah, both of us. Yeah.
Oh, I never saw that before. I never saw it.
And you know, Milos was saying they were giving him tips and stuff about like keeping the midsection in, you know, training the abs and everything. So
They love giving tips on that show.
yeah, I mean, it was good advice. I mean,
No, for sure. Of
they
course.
give me kind of similar critiques. You know, keep my stomach in, and all that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, if you're gonna take tips from anybody, those are the guys to take tips for. Hopefully, we see Cormier today because I've been trying to pose with Cormier for a while.
Yeah, he
Right.
should be there.
Tonio, obviously, Reno, Nathan. I know Nate. He's been on podcast a few times. Raphael, you guys know who that is?
I think he competed here last year. I believe he's Mexican.
Rafael Del Rio. Well, he's not tagged here. Should I try to find him? Or no need?
It's a long list.
Yeah, the long list. Let's keep going. Toto Young. Oh, I know him. He goes to Gold Venice. He's actually really impressive. He tried 212, I believe. I think he tried classic. I don't know how the fuck that.
Oh, he's
man-
tagged there. He's tagged right there, down a little bit. Toto.
To
the left.
Oh,
I
there
think
you
he's
go.
doing this as a
That's pretty
warm-up
good.
for his actual 212 show.
You guys know what Toto means in Spanish?
No.
Yeah.
Carlos, though, he's from the East Coast. That's funny. But yeah, I don't know how the fuck he made weight for Classic because he's pretty fucking big guy. But this is Toto Young. I don't know what his last show was. Maybe here. Was this Classic?
That was like a year. That was
Texas.
a couple years ago. That
2020.
was an older Texas pro.
Yeah.
That
What's
wasn't
the
last
date?
year.
That was 1 day ago. Okay, this is now.
Good legs.
Yeah. Go figure, right? Good legs.
Always.
We gotta see the back though, right?
He doesn't want to show it yet.
Why? How come you don't want to show it, Jordan? What you think?
I don't know.
We're gonna see if he
I don't
does.
want to show my
Yeah.
back yet, but that's because I'm not shredded yet. My back doesn't look good until I'm shredded, but he doesn't look bad.
You know, Jordan, I'm the opposite. When my back is fat and full, it looks even better.
When my back is fat, I look like I don't have any muscle back there, dude. And then
Yeah.
I store all my fat in my back.
I don't even know what the fuck my back looks shredded because my back has never been shredded. So I guess we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out this year.
You're gonna get it there, bro.
Yeah. All right, let's see. What else we got? Dorian Haywood, we know how he looks.
Yeah.
He's always really big, right?
Big, yeah.
But
Yeah.
has he ever been shredded? Where's Dorian?
No, he comes in
I
condition.
think so.
He comes in pretty good
Sometimes he
condition.
does.
Yeah, he comes in pretty good
He
condition.
just, bro, he
Okay.
poses weird. He like wants to do everything his own
Big.
way.
Yeah, like
He
yeah.
just loves the stage, man. He just likes to put on a show for people, brother.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that. He would just
No, I
compare
know.
better if he would do the poses.
I know.
More
Yeah, he
similar.
would do them like correctly. Yeah.
It looks like he has lines in his ass, but it
He
doesn't
just
look like
needs
he's
to-
flexing. He's not flexing his ass, is he?
Yeah. If he comes in tighter, yeah, it's got the size. So
He's a big guy, though. Holy
Yeah.
fuck! Wait,
Like how he does that most muscular, like
It's
this.
the half.
He doesn't
it's
Yeah.
too
come
wide.
through.
Yes.
that's how Tonio does it, though,
wide.
too. That's how Tony. He needs to switch it
Oh,
up.
Tonio's not that bad.
It's not as wide.
You
Yeah,
can't-
he
You
moves,
can't flex
closes it
the
up.
pecs with your arms back like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys saw that Tyler video?
Yeah,
They're judging all the variations you do. So
right.
don't do it just to do it. Like
Mhm.
if it looks
Oh,
good,
God.
do it. Like the way Nick hands claps looks really good, but his crab doesn't. Don't do the crab. You know,
Right.
you don't have to do it just because everybody else is doing it. Basically, so I mean, just do what looks
Yeah.
good for you.
I will never, ever hit a
I'll never
crab
hit a
most
crab.
muscular on stage.
Me neither, bro. I'll hit
You'll
it.
never see
Hands,
me in a crab.
hands clasp all the time. You never do a crab.
Jordan, once you have arms, you'll hit it. Just wait.
I don't think
Mm.
even when as my arms grow, I don't think I'm gonna hit a crab, dude.
I believe
They're
in you.
too long.
I think it's
See-
a shoulder thing for me. Like when I roll forward, like it just flattens out. I'm like, that don't look
Yeah.
good.
I don't even think it's an arm thing because Nick has the best arms, but his crab isn't good.
Well, the
But the
way
cr-
that you got to pose it is like you have to like come over the top, but also
Like-
keep your chest high so it doesn't
Exactly.
thin and disappear in the shadows.
Agree.
Steve kind of lectured me on that last year, and I pose it a lot more upright now, and you can actually see everything.
Yeah.
Your crab looks crazy, Stu. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite books.
That's a good. Yeah,
Yeah, it does. Okay, one thing I noticed is there's two kinds of people that look good in the crab. Either you have huge arms and a huge chest, that combination, or you have extremely wide clavicles and big delts. Because Dennis Wolf is big everywhere, but technically on his body, he didn't have the best arms.
Right.
But he had
Yeah.
crazy
Delphi
width.
chest.
Exactly. So he hunches over really low, and all you see is traps and shoulders.
yeah.
If you hit it like super, like standing tall, it wouldn't look as good. But he hunches over, and you just see a shit ton of traps and shoulders,
Yeah,
and it just
it's
looks
just like
fucking.
a wall of muscle. There's no gaps there, so you have to be
It's-
really big to pull that off. Like Dennis Wolf, fucking Marcus Rule, kind of big.
Yeah, you
Then you
can't
got
go
Dexter
anywhere.
Jackson, who's got, I think, one of the most.
We got like
Yeah.
three heads. He got like 1, 2. He
I
got three
agree.
heads that
Yeah,
coming out of his neck, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, Dexter has good traps, good arms, good shoulders, and when he had that peel though, like Martin doesn't have like crazy big arms. It's big enough though, but he had so much shit going on in his chest and shoulders, like all the striations that it looked. His crab looked insane, you know.
And he's round and full in that pose.
Yeah, so you can't go wrong with that. But like we said, you have to hit it the way it benefits you. You know, you can't try to hit it like the next person. Like sometimes I try to hit the most muscular like Phil, and I'm like, my arms don't look like Phil, so it's best I don't do that. You know,
Yeah, it's better if you have like longer muscle bellies instead of like geeky ones.
exactly. You know, so that's why my arms look better in a front double because I have the peaks. But honestly, from the front on, my arms don't look as big. You know, they look bigger when I lift it up, I think.
I'm the same way, Biddy.
Yeah, one of those things. All right. Oh, Paul. I'm like, who's Paul Henson?
What the fuck, dude?
is Paul from the show? Our Paul.
Yeah, he's peeled,
Paul.
man. He's peeled.
I like Paul too, man. All right. He definitely made a lot of improvements. He has some loose skin, but this is the least amount of loose skin I've seen on him. He's older and he used to be overweight, so right there's going to be some skin there. But this is the least amount of skin I've seen on him, so he's looking tight. Brady King, you know, I forgot about Brady until like the other day. I saw him and I'm like, yo, he killed it at Tampa. Was that Tampa he did?
Yeah, it was top 3, right? Or top 4? At Tampa.
Yeah, he looked like a overgrown classic guy. Well, he is an overgrown classic guy, right? Wasn't he a classic guy?
Right.
Well,
He
so
was
then he
classic.
looks, so then he looks like what he actually is.
Which he definitely grew since then.
Oh, most
For sure.
definitely.
I think this is an incredible physique.
He's got great shape, man.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But his legs are bigger 100%.
Okay.
Sometimes I wonder, do I like these physiques because I'm a shape guy, or does everybody appreciate the shape guys the same way I do?
Right.
I
You gotta
appreciate it.
it.
Okay. Because sometimes I can't tell.
Thing. I like shape.
I can't tell if I'm being biased when I say when I think this, or does everybody appreciate shape? You know, because when I look at this, I think he looks phenomenal, personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
If his legs are bigger and his arms are bigger,
Yeah.
he
Triceps.
can. Yeah,
Be a
he
problem.
can beat. Yeah, he's gonna be. I mean, it looks like he was already a problem last year, but he's gonna be like a much bigger problem. He had a really good back. Really, I mean, his torso is like pretty much flawless. Really good vacuum, good abs as well. You don't see a lot of people who have good vacuums and good abs, good striations, great condition. And he's young, I believe.
Look at the pictures he posted today. They were pretty crazy.
Oh,
that was a pinned
one.
Oh,
down there. Okay.
Those shots, bro.
Yeah,
he's gained a lot of size.
Improved, yeah.
Oh, he's bigger. He's definitely bigger. Well, his back was.
He's peeled, dude.
His back was already a strong point.
Damn.
Jeez.
I'm debating.
I think he's going to do well.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Go ahead.
I'm debating this to start hitting my lat spread like this. I think when you have good lats, sometimes when you hit it like almost like a front lat, it looks impressive. I try to round my back more to give it more thickness, but maybe I should just show my taper.
What's funny is I was posing with Brady in Columbus, and he was telling me to round my back, and now he's not doing it. Which I don't round. I can't round my back in a lat spread. It doesn't look good for me.
Yeah, he tried to pull old
Arnold
on you, bro.
Yeah, I know. But no, he changed it. I think he may have changed it based on what Tyler Mannion said. I don't know. Maybe not. I haven't talked to Brady about it, but he wasn't hitting it like that before.
It's like you got to hit what makes you look best. And like Keon hits it like this because Keon has such a small waist and wide lats. So it just makes his taper look so ridiculous. So maybe he is better off because he has the crazy taper. I might try this today at the gym. See how it looks.
I'll be the judge.
Yeah, let me know, Stu. By the way, I'm going to San Diego to work out with Stu today.
That'll be fun.
Yosef, we just talked about Yosef. We already saw how he looks here, so Jang Min Lee.
Is that the guy Milos is working with? Is that?
Oh, he's in Vegas right now, right?
Yeah, I think he's with Milos. Oh, this guy. No, not this guy. It's another guy.
That's Jewel.
Jewel, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is he doing the show too or no?
Jewel? He is. Actually, Milos was saying he wasn't. Jewel wasn't on the list because we're not sure if he registered. And if he can't, he's in the States, but if he's not registered, he's fucked. Like
the Monday before your show, you have to register the Monday. So it's already Wednesday today. So
they wouldn't let him do it even if he flew from China.
I mean, unless you're Nick Walker. Nick Walker wasn't
right.
Well, they didn't let Antonio do the Detroit. He wanted to do the Detroit, but he was a day late.
I think if the man flew from China, they think. I think if the man flew from China, man, you gotta let the man rock.
Yeah, bro, that's a rough
go. Like, why not?
That's a rough go.
When it comes to rules and laws, you got to use some discretion, I think.
Yeah, if it's just one or two athletes in a year that are missing it by a couple of days, like, we want the shows to be good. You want the competitive lineups. Why keep people out?
You don't want to play favoritism and make it seem like people are getting special treatment. But there's circumstances like flying from China. Yeah, I think he can, And they could be a language barrier. Like he don't know the rules, motherfucker. He in China, bro. You don't you don't know what's going on with the
He's
fool.
Korean. He's not fucking Chinese.
Oh,
I
it's
said twice now.
See, still a long
I'm-
flight.
oh
either
shit.
way.
We got it slipped
Like,
up
Yeah,
there.
it's still a long flight. For him.
Okay.
I just want to apologize to the
Yeah.
Asian community.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. He's Korean. I'm sorry. Yeah, South
Love
Korea.
my
Yeah.
Korean fans,
South
dude.
Korea. Yeah.
Shout out Korea.
I actually worked for Koreans for a while. I was a bodyguard for a little bit for Koreans. Cool peoples. All right, Pablo.
Lupus.
Lupus.
This
Pablo Lupus Munoz
L's.
from Spain. Lupus. I don't see him.
Oh, there it is, right there.
He's at top right.
Oh,
Down.
Yeah.
Where? Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
oh, this is
Oh,
Shoulder
this
Guy's
guy.
twin.
Okay.
Well, this guy,
You guys-
doing it.
Holy fuck! You guys know Shoulder Guy? This is like his evil twin over here.
This guy always looks good.
Yeah, I remember
He's so
him, yeah.
bubbly, bro.
Just on
I th-
Instagram, though, I don't know what he's gonna look like next to guys, but
Yeah.
He looked pretty good his last show. On stage, low key, I was like, yo, his shoulders got to be fake, but it always looks like that. So I don't think I think he just has big ass shoulders. Let's see. I mean, his arms. I mean, he just got bubbly everywhere, right? Holy shit!
what is his back like? He looks like
That's
he
the-
kind of doesn't have as
Yeah, it doesn't look like it was the
Kind of
lats
lats.
are layering.
Hey, for some reason, when you have like ridiculous shoulders, they overpower you. I don't know if they overpower your back or you can't feel your back, but guys with the craziest
That's-
shoulders, they seem to lack some back a bit.
yeah,
You know?
and he's not posting it. So
Yeah. Marcus Rule, stupid shoulders, but in the back double, his back would kind of just like
yeah,
disappear.
fade away. Yeah, I don't
Is this
see
Quinn
it.
Beastwood? Oh, never mind. See the white guy. I'm looking for a stage shot. But very.
Oh, there's one.
Hero. Yeah.
Well, he looks good from the side.
Yeah, it's a great shot.
Oh, no back pictures. You know what that means.
Yeah,
Either
it's
either
not
you're
hard to find a back shot.
either you're Jordan and you're waiting to get shredded, or if you're already shredded on stage, then there's no excuse.
I mean, I've posted a few. I'm not gonna hide it, but
I know. I'm just fucking.
it
with
may
you.
not be the shot I post all the time.
Well, from the front, he looks fucking incredible.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, he looks insane. If he doesn't turn around to the back, then we're not.
yeah. The lats.
I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on to the next person.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a lot of arms and shoulders and chest, man. I'm just seeing a little bit of lacking in the lats so far, even from the front.
Mhm. I like his legs from the front. I like his quads
Sure.
as well.
Y'all are some harsh critics, dude. He hasn't even turned around. There you go. There's the back.
Okay. The lower back looks
Here
good.
we go.
Let's see the lats.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. Yeah.
Detail is
He's
good.
shredded. He's lean as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if he's
It's-
overall bigger and just as shredded, I don't think that back is gonna like hurt him too much, you know, right?
No.
It's not
I
like a
agree.
deal breaker. Like get off the stage, right? It's not like a deal breaker. It's just his back isn't as good as
More
fucking,
size. More size. Yeah.
Fucking, yeah. Listen, when your arms and shoulders are that big, you know, it's hard to have a back that matches with that.
Right.
He looks great. He looks great.
Yep.
Yes.
And Stu is right. We might be being kind of
we
harsh.
jumped- yeah, we jumping ahead there too soon.
Being kind of harsh. Yeah. Hey, he wasn't posting no back pictures. I don't know. What we do? All right. And Win. We know.
I remember that guy. I remember Anwin.
If I think we say it every time. If he's in shape, on
Yeah.
is insane. Amir is going to be in shape, obviously. I don't know how he stacks size wise. Joe Palacios, I don't know that guy, but good luck to him. Now, Joe, let me pull up Joe. Actually, he's not tagged. Come on, man.
He's in there, I thought.
Oh, okay.
Oh, down.
Yeah.
Bottom.
Joe making his debut
there
at the
we go.
bottom.
There we go. Thought they try to play him.
So
His followers are going up. All right. Let me look at this. The latest. The latest. Right. His waist came in a shit ton.
It did.
Downright dainty.
Yeah.
His side shots crazy, dude.
I think his side shots are my favorite shots. His chest
For
looks
sure.
insane.
His hamstrings are nuts. His back shot's pretty good.
Yeah, knowing Joe's physique as well as that dude, when he fills out, this shot is gonna look stupid. He's gonna have all these crazy shit going on his chest. His shoulders are gonna look twice as wide. He's a very wide person. This back double is gonna look crazy if he fills out. His glutes are always in. That's just how he is. So
Yeah.
Joe's he's gonna do well.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Nobody, he's never lost a show, but nobody ever sees him coming because maybe he doesn't translate as well in picture that he does in person. But in person, if you're looking at him, you're gonna be like, wow, that's impressive.
Right.
All right. Shout out Joe. Who else? Sam Pierce, Australia. Not
He hasn't
familiar.
competed in a long time, has he? I used to follow that guy.
He's a tall guy.
Yeah, I love Sam Pierce though. I love his like.
Oh shit! I was gonna skip over him.
He's peeled.
I think he looks great.
Yeah, he's always had a good physique.
Yo, I feel like this entire list, I feel like everybody was good.
It's a quality lineup here. It's really is.
I didn't realize it at first glance. I didn't realize all the people showing up.
He's peeled. Hey man, bodybuilding is bodybuilding apparently has been dying for the last 10 years, but it seems like the opposite.
this show, it's like damn, 20 plus guys in the lineup. Open.
Did Milan do New York? I think
New
he
York.
did.
I think he did.
He did.
Did he make any improvements too? Or Carlos?
I haven't seen any pictures of him. I don't remember what he looked like.
You could take a look, man. It was.
Oh, there it goes. I remember he has in good shape, like structurally.
But
he's in shape. I think I've seen him harder.
It was just a tough one. Like it's hard, man.
Stack lineup.
And he's an OG in the sport, like for real. You know what I mean? He's been in it for a minute.
Was he at 212 at one point?
I think so.
A while back?
Yeah.
So. Yep. I just feel like right now in bodybuilding, guys are really big, and a lot of them are big and have pretty good shape. So it's just really hard to keep up with some of the talent. You know, it's just a very difficult league, but it should be, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ray Short. You guys familiar? Ray Short?
I'm not.
I don't see him tagged.
I know Ray Tall, not Ray Short.
This guy's got a private account. I don't know. I think I've met him. Maybe not. I don't know.
Stuart Sutherland from Redmond, Washington. Let's take a look. I never heard of the guy, but let's take a look. See what he's like. Oh, that's Beef Stew.
Oh, the hair guy. The hair guy.
The hair guy.
Oh,
serious bodybuilding guys.
You gotta say Beef Stew. You say Stew. I don't know Stuart Sutherland. I don't know who that guy is. All right. Oh, Stu. Ron Harris said that if you cut your hair, you would do better. Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said that to my face. Told me to get stuck.
But do people actually believe that?
Yeah, they believe that, and it's not true. When you're standing in a lineup, it literally doesn't matter.
No one's looking at
No, it's your.
I mean, Tyler would have told me something.
Of course he would.
Yeah, that's true.
Of course he would. Okay, obviously, when you're by yourself, if your head appears bigger, you may not look as big on your own body, but you're in the lineup, so it's irrelevant. And honestly, with all due respect, your head is big regardless.
Take Nick and I, like just standing on our own, not next to each other, like Instagram pictures. He's got a tiny head. It makes him look way bigger on his own. I've got a giant head with a huge head of hair. The exact opposite is true. But it doesn't I looked the same size as him in the lineup last weekend. So explain that.
I mean, structurally in the first call out, you were the biggest guy.
Yeah.
in that lineup, which is dope. Because leading into it, I thought you was way too ahead. I'm like, oh man, he's gonna probably flatten out. But I mean, at some points you did go flat or whatever, but you filled out and you ended up, appearing to be the biggest guy in the fucking lineup, which is dope.
Stu, I feel you. I may not have the hair, but I have a giant head. So
Yeah.
a lot of people see me online. They think I'm like 5'4", 5'5", and like, lower 200s. Meanwhile, I'm like almost 5'10".
That's true. Yeah. Like last year leading into the show, I didn't think you were going to be big enough until you were on stage. And I'm like, oh no, he is.
That's what I kind of like. That it takes the pressure off. It's the opposite of like Quentin and these other guys. You get,
Good point.
A little bit of an underdog.
Good point. Let's look at Stu.
But Stu definitely, once he stands next to people, bro, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Me personally, I feel like the hair is better.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah.
It makes you stand out.
Dude, I was talking.
Like you got to have some originality.
I was talking to Tarek at New York, and he said he loved it, and a bunch of other people love it too. Like, it's not going anywhere, man.
It's your trademark, bro.
Like I said, I remember when you had a short haircut, man, and it was like,
I didn't like it.
This is like this is better.
I didn't like it. I gotta be honest. I was looking through these thumbnails on my phone for some reason, and I saw like an old episode, and I almost didn't recognize him. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And it was Stu. I'm like, he don't even look like the same person. But this was a great show on Stu. Good job. Good job. Yeah. I was gonna say, I think Stu can beat Tonio, man. Tonio, the friend of mine too. I think Tonio had the awesome physique. If Stu looks just as dry, but if he gets like that pop, like he gets a really, really good pump backstage, somehow, and he's just popping, and he can like somewhat mimic some of that bubbliness, well, then he's already bigger and he's already in better shape. So I think he could do it, man. I mean,
it all depends on what they want to see, man. I mean,
good point. Good point. That's a good way to look at it. It's really point of view, right? That's all it is, really. What do you prefer? Do you prefer this or that? This has these strengths. This has these strengths. Pick one, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Brett Swanson, huge shredded guy.
French man.
They didn't tag him, but they did. Did they tag him? I don't see it.
I don't think so.
I think so. Well, Brett is just imagine like a really big shredded white guy, and that's Brett for you. Christian, what?
You ever seen him dressed up in his the Ultimate Warrior stuff, dude? It's crazy.
He did have some.
I saw him at the Arnold.
Yeah, the Arnold, man. It's wild, dude.
Didn't tag Christian?
Christian.
Oh yeah, that's right there to the left.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm blind, man.
Get up.
Okay.
He got 5th or 6th at New York?
5th.
He got 5th.
Oh, he got 5th.
There's the video of him right there on the.
Yeah, he has some awesome quads, man.
The quads are.
Hey, man.
They look so much like Martin's.
Those are like proper quads right there.
Yes,
man.
Bro, top 5 at this New York Pro is wild. Think about that. Top 5, bro. This New York Pro was a whole different beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man, I got to be honest. Do you see any holes? Do you see any holes in his physique at all?
He's a threat, man. Just good. 240 on stage.
It's impressive.
Okay, who can he not beat besides Stu and Tonio at the show?
I think he could beat anybody.
I think he's coming in. If it's Beef first or Tonio first, he's gonna be third.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, man, this is impressive. To be honest, man, I don't think he needs to like focus on anything. I literally think him bigger.
Three arms.
Arms.
Yeah, I can see
keep the waist and just keep bringing everything else up.
I guess don't bring up the legs, right? Because if you bring up everything, technically your arms will get bigger. But if your legs are getting bigger too, then it wouldn't appear so. So I guess don't bring
You
up
can
your
bring up the
legs.
hamstrings a tiny bit just compared to the quads.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But hey, man, he bought up everything because he didn't look like this last time we seen him.
Yeah.
So he definitely good job. Wolski is the man.
He is like a national hero in Poland right now, according to David. So
As he should be. But okay, you know when somebody's countryman tells you, watch out for this guy, you just assume they're just saying that because they're the same, because they're cool with them. So you don't actually. I tend to not believe it. I'm like, okay, sure. But then you see, like, oh, you actually meant it. You weren't just saying it because it's your friend. Okay, well, yeah, this guy's actually impressive. So shout out to Wolski. And he speaks English, right?
Yeah, I had him on the show
He speaks
yesterday.
English. Yeah.
Like, how good we talking? 90%?
It's pretty
His
good.
English is good, dude. It's good.
Yeah.
We had a conversation in New York.
Oh, wow. I think he needs more exposure. I think I'm going to reach out to him. I think everybody should reach out to him.
That's why I had him on the show, man. I wanted, he deserves some attention here. Like, he got fifth at the New York Bro.
Yeah.
It's no
Let me
joke.
see if I follow him.
Sometimes I feel like the same people get the attention. Like, let's spread some attention. These motherfuckers is working. They look insane.
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree, bro.
Okay, and Su Young, last one.
Social media makes it hard, bro. You got to have some crazy personality for that to happen sometimes.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think I took way too long on this list, but let's wrap it up with In Sung Yu.
No, that's not that. No, that's
Well, if I had to guess, he has really good legs. His back may or may not be the best. In a nutshell, his arms probably pretty good as well.
Oh my god,
is that fucked up to say? Is that wrong to say? It's probably spot on if I'm right.
Probably, yeah.
All right, that's the lineup.
So do we do predictions for the Cali?
Oh yeah. I took so long, I forgot what the fuck we was doing.
Should I leave while you're doing this?
No, I think we're all gonna have this. No, we're gonna have the same top three, but maybe not the same top five. Okay, I'm gonna keep the list up in case we forget. So Stu can't do predictions on the show he's competing on, right? That would be weird.
Yep. Not saying shit.
You better put yourself first, though, if you do it.
I'll be in the third call-outs, like usual.
Oh gosh.
Let's start with Carlos.
Come on, Stu. You know it's at least second call-outs.
I mean, I love Tonio. That's my guy, but I'd like to see Stu to get this one here. They have their own personal rivalry and little battle going on, so I'd like to see Stu take it as first, Tonio second. And honestly, Wolski looks really good to be coming in third. Fourth, I'm going to have to say I'd like to see Brady up there in the mix in top five. And so I think it might be a battle between him, Amir. Oh, man, it's some good guys, shit. Damn, like Tim.
You said between Wolski and who else again? Before Brady.
No, Wolski. He's gonna be third. I think Wolski.
Okay. You talking about fourth now?
Fourth and fifth. I think that's a battle right there because I honestly think Tim looked really good in New York, and if he repeats that, I could see him coming ahead. Oh man, but Brady's got great shape, brother. Got great shape.
Yeah.
Hey man,
I'll say Brady. I know, but I'll say Brady. He's improved. I think he's great shape. I think I love Tim, but I think he might surpass Tim just because going back to that shape. And then Tim in fifth because I think Tim came ahead of Amir in New York, right?
He did.
And honestly, I think that might be my top five right there. I mean, I like Sam, but he's very tall. And then I like Joe, man, but I don't know. It's his first time getting his face seen out there, so it might be a little bit difficult. But I'm excited for what he's going to bring, for sure. It's a really good show. And again, it's like On Win. Like back in the day, On Win, like he was if he came in shape, bro, he was dangerous. So I don't know how he is lately. but would like to see it. That's my top
Even
five.
today, I didn't know he was in Vegas now, but even now, man, if he's in shape, he's that's what like when the ifs come to play, then that's what makes it difficult. I feel like the top three, there's no ifs needed. It's just like
No.
or they just show up, right? So but everybody else, there's gonna be a lot of ifs. Yeah, that's a solid top five. Let's go, Matt.
Because on paper at the New York Pro, they had Tonio over Stu. I think in my opinion, I think Stu can beat Tonio. But at this show, I think if Tonio's a little sharper, he would probably come out on top, followed by Stu, and then Christian in third. I'm going to have Tim in fourth and Amir in fifth. That's unless if Tonio slips up, Beef could take him out.
Yeah, I can
What
see
you call
that.
me?
Beef. That's your first name, no?
Yeah, right.
He was his last name.
That's the name my
First
mother.
name Beef. Yes.
Check out
That's
his
what-
license. It'll say beef stew.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's what Nick Strength from Power calls you, Beef too.
Yeah, it's like Ocho Cinco. He just changed his name, bro. From General Cinco. He changed his name.
Oh man. Wait, who went? Carlos. Let's go, Jordan.
Yeah, it's me next. I mean,
Justin
I hate
is
to
next.
copy Carlos, but I was definitely thinking Stuart and Tony is going to be really a battle, bro. I think it'll be a two-man call out. Like, I don't know that Christian will make it into like the final call out. I think it'll really be Tonio and Stu, just like how it was Nick and Martin. So I think Stuart is who I'm calling for first, and Antonio and Christian. I mean, gosh, like if anybody comes in off, he can come in and with the way he looked. But I would have him in third. I think with how Brady's shape and his conditioning is, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. He's going to push a lot of guys. Have him in fourth, and then Tim in fifth. But I think Tim and Amir could swap places for me,
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
depending on how both of them come in. Like if Amir comes in peeled and maybe Tim couldn't peak as well as he peaked last weekend just because of the shape. But Tim obviously has more size than Amir. So it's like a lot of these guys are comparing a lot more size to a lot better shape. So it's really hard to, I mean, it's going to be based on what the judges want to see, shape versus size in a lot of these guys. So, but that would be my top five.
Yeah, it's different judges for different shows. So
Yeah. I believe this show is gonna be Sandy and I forget the guy's name. He was like a physique competitor at one point. So yeah. But Stu, who's your top five, Stu? Who you got?
Fuck off.
All right. I'm gonna have to go with okay, mind you, like almost there's a lot of people, but most of these people I consider friends, right? Well, I guess not really. Some of them.
You just fake it.
Some of them. But yeah, so I want to take my bias out of it. Well, I guess you can never completely take bias out of it. But personally, I have Stu beating Tonio. I believe Stu is going to come in better. I believe Tonio is going to may play the size game again like in New York. Or if he got critiqued for playing the size game, he might try to do the opposite. And either or could be not good. So and I know Stu is going to be better because he already is. So I'm going to put Stu ahead of Tonio. Then I have Tonio second. Then I'm going to have Wolski a strong third. Not just third, a strong third. Because I think he will have some separation. I think he's going to be a clear third. Let's say that. I think he's really good. Fourth, this is where the ifs come into play because there's too many ifs here. but I'm gonna go by ifs. If we're not going by ifs, then it would be Tim, then Amir. But I think the ifs are gonna play a factor. And Brady, I think Brady is an if. Well, he definitely bigger, but is it gonna be enough size to have him beat these people? I think it might be. I think his shape is so good that even 6 pounds up is gonna look like 12 pounds on him.
Agreed.
So I would say Brady in fourth, which, like I said, is an if, but I think it's a responsible if. I get to see Joe in person. So there's a lot to Joe that never translates, and that I don't think anybody's gonna notice it. But Joe is probably the widest human being I've ever seen. But because his waist is on the wider side, in pictures, it doesn't look as wide until you stand next to somebody else. It looks like Jay's structure. And Joe, no matter how he looks the whole prep, he always comes in the sharpest guy in the lineup. Not that he's going to be the sharpest guy in the lineup here, but he's going to be more than sharp enough. So I believe Joe can place fifth. Now, that's a big if because he's never done a pro show. So the safe bet would be Tim, right? Would be Tim. I'm gonna do the unsafe bet and go with Joe. Tim had the wider midsection as well, but he's not as wide as he won't be nearly as wide as Joe. Joe's gonna be a lot wider. I think he's gonna be close to his condition, and I think he may be able to edge him out. So that's gonna be my top 5. Really drawn out explanation, but that's my top 5.
It's thorough, man. You're thorough.
Yeah, I gotta.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty deep thinker, so sometimes I gotta really put my thoughts out there.
You like to tell everybody how deep of a thinker you are very often.
It makes me feel good about myself, Stu. Is that okay with you? It makes me feel.
It's something I've noticed.
It makes me feel mature, All right, all right. That's the lineup. That's the predictions. I don't know if we have time for questions. It's been 2 hours. How you guys feeling?
I got to go eat, and you need to come. Yeah. So don't rip.
Has it really been 2 hours?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's just about.
Wow. I figured I'd be more hungry than this.
You guys want to leave it there? Everybody good?
Yeah, we can call it.
Yeah,
I need to get a meal in.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the gym.
Before we go off, everybody, make sure go follow Muscle Discord. You did a great job with the interviews, the podcast. I didn't even realize when I reached out to you, I didn't realize you had a podcast with Mac Truck. Mac Truck is a friend of mine as well. He lives in LA, or he did live. Does he still live in LA?
Yeah.
He lived. So me and him trained at the same gyms here and there. So if I knew that, I probably would have invited him on too, but I'll probably keep it separate. Probably bring him on.
Bring him on. Yeah. We just started it together. Like maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I just
4 or 5 weeks ago. Yeah.
I'll check out the channel. I just subscribed.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, man.
Dope channel. He has a very different way of doing it. Very matter of fact, very straightforward, and it's cool to see different styles of podcast interview. Shout out Jordan for coming on. Shout out Carlos for coming on, and Stu. Well, I guess thank you to Stu as well. Huh?
In a minute.
I see you, Stu. I'll make sure I bring you some of that secret shit, that secret sauce for the stage. You know what I'm saying? Some of that secret shit. I'm gonna get to you.
Don't tell nobody.
You know what you're
keep it on. Gotta keep it on. All right, gentlemen. Thanks for coming on.
All right, guys.
Thanks for having me on, brother.
You guys.